Billingham is director at the Institute for Public Policy Research, North. It's a think tank based in Northern England. She's joining us from London. Thank you so much for being with us. Why has this taken so long?
Well, as you say, this is potentially the biggest set of democratic reforms we've seen in the UK for a long time. And as you rightly say, in Scotland and Wales, they've had this in place for some time. So we've had plenty of time to test it, to see it works, to see the uptick in engagement of young people in politics. So it's quite right that they're now finally bringing it forward at the UK level.
So what is the potential to reshape future elections?
I think, look, absolutely. If, the government actually, moves to incorporate the 1.5 million 16 and 17-year-olds in the UK in the national debate, of course, that will change the terms of the debate and hopefully what elected politicians then focus on. We know that young people, care a lot about financial security and opportunity. They care a lot about housing, especially as so many of them are renters, and also about climate change. So I'm really hopeful that bringing them into the political process more formally will make sure their voices are better heard.
In terms of, we mentioned before about it's already being the case in Scotland and in Wales, is there any evidence to suggest that it has actually had a significant impact, not only on the turnout, for example, in terms of elections, but also the direction that authorities are subsequently encouraged to go in?
Well, absolutely. You mentioned turnout. Now, at the UK election level, the last general election in the UK, we had 51% turnout, which is the worst turnout we've had in almost a century. So it's absolutely essential that the government looks to both expand who can vote, but also another proposal they put forward today, which is to bring forward automatic voter registration, because there are 8 million people currently living in the UK who are eligible already to vote, but don't yet vote. So that will have a massive impact. And now when we look at Scotland, we see not only do young people really engage with that first vote when they're 16 and 17, but it also has a positive impact to their future voting behaviour and makes them more likely to vote in the future. And, in modern democracies, we want engaged citizens who take part in democracy and have their voice heard. So I think this is a really positive development.
To be cynical about it, many 16-year-olds, I would imagine, would vote in the next election because of the novelty of it. But how do politicians keep up the momentum, as you say, and keep young people engaged to the point where they don't lose the enthusiasm for the voting process and do actually see some tangible results for their vote? So
absolutely, the politicians who are currently in power and those in the future should hopefully prioritise those key issues for young people. As I said, financial security, renting and climate change, to demonstrate that they're listening to them. But also, crucially, elections at local level. We also have mayors now in England. At that level, we really should see improvements to how young people can participate in democracy, not just at the ballot box, but how are politicians engaging with them on a sort of week-by-week, month-by-month basis, bringing them into the decision-making process, giving them access to those political leaders. We're already seeing some innovations in that space, especially through the mayors in the UK, who often hold sort of question times with young people, like we see in South Yorkshire. But I think, bringing young people into the political process in a formal way by giving them a vote only incentivises the political system to better listen to young people, both in terms of policies, but also in how politics is conducted.
Zoë Billingham is from the Institute of Public Policy Research, North. Thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Thank you.